So we'll start for the day, and just a glance of what we saw yesterday. So we were seeing about the MIB, that is sorry, SNMP version 2 architecture. We had that manager to manager communication possible, that is peer to peer. So instead of having 5 messages in version 1, we had 7 messages. The additional messages were get bulk message. So that helped you to transfer data at a faster rate, and you can transfer a much higher range of data. And then we were looking about how the object type and object identifier are defined in SNMP version 2, and we saw example for each. So today we will be looking, that is we saw the SMI for SNMP version 2. So today we'll be looking about the version 2 MIB and its conformance. Okay, so before you learn MIB, you should know few modules, conformance modules that we have in version 2. So I will first cover the conformance modules that we need to have a look on. So then we will start with MIB. So yesterday we saw the architecture version 2 architecture and SMI. So today we'll be looking about MIB. So to know about MIB, we need to know about the conformance. So first I'll tell you what are the different conformance modules that we have. So this conformance statement is defined in your RFC 1904. RFC is request for comment, some documentation things that we saw earlier. So what is this conformance statement? So this conformance will tell you the minimum requirements that are required in order to implement the SNMP version 2. If a vendor is producing a particular component, then he had to look on to the compliance report. Okay, so he will have to look whether his product can be capable of working with SNMP version 2. So that is given by the conformance statement. So in conformance statement, we have many modules, many macros that are defined. So for modules, we have module compliance. For agent, we have agent macros. And for object, we have the macro. For grouping of objects, we have macros. So different macros will help us to tell how the version 2 can be compatible with version 1. So compatibility with version 1 will be a separate topic that we will be studying tomorrow. So this is nothing but just conformance statements which give you a set of macros that help you to capable of making your systems work in different versions. So the minimum requirements for SNMP compliance are called as module compliance, and they are defined in ASN1 macro module compliance. So we will look into each of them. So next we have agent capabilities module that defines the the conformance for the agent. So for the manager and for the agent. Next we have object group. So object group is nothing but it groups set of objects that are managed by a particular manager. Okay, if you have a manager which is managing 5 groups, then those 5 groups are combined together and they have a object group macro to do them. So object group macro is used to group a set of objects. So next we have notification group. So notification group is used to explain the trap message. Also trap is a kind of a notification message, right? For example, as I told you yesterday, we can also have a message saying that the link is up or the link is down. That is the system which is into the troubleshooting stage. If it has troubleshoot itself and it is back to the network, so you can have a notification message to the manager saying that the link is up, or you can also have a link is down, or if the number of devices that are uh, connected to the network exceeds a threshold value, then you will give a notification. So these kind of notifications are defined by the notification group macros. So these are the different macros we have. So first is the object group macro. So object group macro will define or it will group a set of objects that are related. Okay, it is compiled during implementation and not at runtime. So during implementation is nothing but during the communication between the manager and agent. At that situation, these objects are grouped together. So if there is no such object exist, or if we have an error during the implementation, then it will return no such object error message. So if you are grouping an object and you suppose you understand that you have a particular object in that group, and if that object doesn't exist, then we have no such object error message. So this is about the object group. So object group is nothing but a macro which defines or which groups a set of related managed objects. So this is an example for object group macro. So in this object group macro, as you can see, you have the name object group and then the keyword macro. Begin and end indicates the beginning and end of your macro. So this object group macro, so we have already seen object identifier, we have already seen object type macro, different kinds of macros for different verses. First will be your type and second will be your value. So the type of the object, okay, that can be given like this. Okay, so the object parts, so it can be a single object or it can be a group of objects. So if the objects are present, so what is the name of the object? And then the second thing that we have is the status. So first one is object part. So object part contains it says whether the object is a specific or we have a group of objects and what is the name of the object, that is the value of the object. So next one is the status. So status will help you to identify whether the a particular object is currently in execution state or whether it is currently in usage or not. So it can be current or it can be depreciated or it can be obsolete. So either it is in a working state or whether it is in like a sleep mode or whether it is in the out of the network uh, connection. So that is your status part. And third one is your description. So as you know, every macro, whenever we define any objects with the help of the macros, we give its description. So description is nothing but English like a text which describes what that object will do. And the last one is refer part. So in refer part, we have a reference. Okay, the reference can be some text like your description or it can be empty. Or empty in the sense there is no reference. So it is not compulsory to always have some references. So these are the four things that we have. So first one is object part and second one is status and third is description and fourth is refer. So object part we have object name that we specify and then in status we specify the working condition of the object and in description we describe the what that object is meant for and it is a normal text. And the last one is refer part. So refer part is also a text one which gives you a reference of the object and it can be an empty value also. So this is a object group macro. So next is an example. So this is your system group. So your system group contains group of many objects that are related to each other. So this system group object will follow your object group macro. So what are the objects that are grouped in this system group? So that I have specified here. So system description, system object ID, system uptime, system contact, system name, system location, services, or last change, or ID, or uptime, or description. So these are the different objects that belong to a system, that is your system class, and these are grouped into a group name called as system group. Okay, so this is a system group, and these are the different objects that are grouped together. So the current status is it is working and this is the description. So the system group defines objects that are common to all managed system. and this is the id of that object. Okay, so this system group object identifier is snmp mib group 6. So you have many groups and this belongs to the mib group 6. So this is an example for your object group. So object group, sorry, example for a object group macro. So this is your system group and it follows the object group macro, and these are the objects that are clubbed together, and you specify the status description. So as I told you, reference is an optional part. So you need not have the reference every time. And then you have the value, which is nothing but your object identifier. And that is what is given here, SNMP MIB group 6. So this is the identifier of this particular object. So every object has got its type and it got its value. So in type, we saw what are the different objects, then what are the different, what is the status, description and reference. And the second thing that belongs to an macro object group is the value. So value is nothing but your object identifier. So here the object identifier for a system group is SNMP MIB group 6. This is an example for object group macro. And the next one is notification group macro. So as I told you, notification group macro is used to tell you what are the different notifications like trap and all those things. So system up, system down, link up, link down, it has reached a particular threshold, some kind of things, some kind of notifications if you need to specify, then we can group them. Okay, we can group notifications which are similar or which have a particular working principle. So those notifications can be grouped together. So that is done by the notification group macro. So we have a group macro for objects, and this is the group for grouping of the notifications. So this is a notification group macro. So this is your name of the macro and the keyword macro, begin and end. So we have two values, right? So first one is type and second one is value. So in type we have notification, status, description and refer part. Same like how we have for the object group macro. So every objects that we have in this notification group, we have two different things. One is type and the second one is value. So in type we have notification parts, that is the values which are grouped together, and the second one is status and then the description and the refer part. As I told you, refer is an optional one. If you want, you can have it. So what will happen in the notification part? In notification part we have all the notifications that are grouped together. Okay, so that is your notification parts. And then each notification will have a value, that is the name of the notification, and the status as usual it can be current, depreciated or absolute. The next one is refer part. So as I told you, refer part is an optional one. And then the value notation. So value notation will contain the object identifier. So that is what we have seen in the previous one also, right? In the object group macro. The same thing follows here. And is an example for SNMP basic notification group. Okay, so this notification group is nothing but we have grouped two different notifications. One is cold start. We saw this yesterday, right? Cold start is a notification. Once it is set, the all the components cannot be changed anything. So all the values are set. And the next notification that it is group is authentication failure. So authentication failure, that is if I'm trying to get access, we have that read only, read write, all those access, right? So if I'm trying to read an object which I don't have an access to, so then we have this authentication failure. So these two notifications are grouped together and they are under the name of SNMP basic notification group. And the status, it is current, it is still working. So description, so the two notifications which an SNMP entity is required to implement. So these are the basic notification that every SNMP version 2 entity will execute. So this object, its identifier is SNMP MIB group 7. So we saw this, right? SNMP MIB group 6. So that is your system group. So likewise, this notification group it belongs to SNMP MIB group 7. So we have different groups. So this notification belonging to group 7. So this is how we group different objects and we group different notifications together. So next one is module compliance. So module compliance means that the minimum set of requirements that are required for an module to be implemented. Okay, so minimum set of requirements for the implementation of one or more MIB modules. So this module compliance can be executed or can be done, that is during the implementation part and not during the runtime. So this macro also works during the implementation part like your object group. And this module compliance can be used to define the different components informations that we have. So these module compliance will help you to define the different modules that we have for MIB. So we will have to refer a book. So this picture is larger. I couldn't accommodate it in my PowerPoint presentation. I'll just move to the page number 355. And this is the SNMP model compliance macro. Okay, so I think you are able to see, otherwise I'll just zoom it a little bit. Okay, so this is it. uh, so this is your module compliance macro. So you have a begin and you have the end to indicate the beginning and end of the macro. So we have type and value for every macro, right? Like how we have everything type and value that we saw for the group, object group and notification group. So the same thing. So type notation and value notation. So the type can be, it can be the status, the description, referral, and module part. So this module part is where the different modules for MIB are going to get implemented. So value is nothing but the object identifier, and status, it is the same, it is working or not, and reference, it is an optional part. So this is your module part, right? So this module part is where we are going to describe the different MIB modules that we have. So it can have a module or it can be empty. So if you have a module, what are the things that you need to specify in it? Sorry. So we need to specify the name of the module, okay, module name, and then mandatory part and the compliance part. So this compliance part was what we were seeing till now. Okay, so this mandatory part. So what are the mandatory things? We have two kinds of group in SNMP version 2. So one is mandatory group and second one is just a group. So mandatory group are set of objects that every SNMP version 2 component should implement. So it can, like we saw that notification group, right? The basic notification group that every SNMP version 2 system must implement. So those things are called as mandatory part. So mandatory part are things which are mandatory. It is always compulsory. And you can have an optional group things that it need not be implemented every time. So for this module part only, we are seeing what are the things to be implemented. So the name of the module and the mandatory part, what it is, and what are the compliance part. So in name of the module, in the name, in module name, we specify. So this must not be empty unless it is contained in the MIB module. So the module name cannot be it cannot be empty. There should be some name that is given for that particular module. So next is module identifier. So module identifier is nothing but object ID. That is an ID that we give for every module. So those things cannot also be empty. So next is your mandatory part. So as I told you, we have two groups. One is mandatory group and second one is just the group. So these things, mandatory group, whatever comes in mandatory group, that is always to be implemented. So that cannot be omitted. So next is your normal group. So that is optional one. And in group, every group will have the identifier. So every group will have an object identifier, and these are the different compliance that we saw now, right? For example, we saw the module compliance, we saw object agent compliance, all those things. So these kind of compliances, whatever we have, that we will have to specify. So next one is your you need to specify about the group. So about the group, we will be specifying what is the name of the uh, what is the name of the object. So object name, and you will have to write what is the syntax. So like how we follow the ASN syntax, right? So what kind of syntax it follows. So those things have to be given. And then the access part. So access part, whether it is read only or whether it is a write permission, all those things. And description is just a description about the object. So in syntax part, okay, in syntax part, see this is see, for example, this is an object. So what are the things that object will have? It will have a name, it will have syntax, it will have write syntax, access part, description. So what about this syntax part? So everything we are defining. So that is how your macros will be. This is how we saw it in first unit, ASN macro. So every macro will have different parts, and you need to specify every part. And this is syntax part. So this syntax follows your ASN syntax. So next is your write syntax part. So write syntax, it can be write syntax or it can be empty. That is, you can give either the write operation or it is just empty. So next is min access. So what is the minimum access that you give? So the access part, it is just specified as minimum access. What is the minimum access? For example, I can have the minimum access as read only. Okay, so that is possible. So if it is a min access, then I can have to specify what is a min access. Otherwise, what are the different accesses? So it is not accessible. It is accessible only for notification. It is a read only. It is a read write. It is read and create. So these are the different accesses. So I hope you are clear with this. So this is nothing but the compliance that we have for the module. Okay, so module compliance, every module will have the type and value. So in type, for this module compliance, we have status, description, refer part and module part. So value is nothing but the object identifier that you provide for this particular macro. So now status, it is same as what we saw earlier, and then description is just the English description of what this macro will do, and then refer part is optional. Next is your module part. So in module part only we specify the names of the modules. So as I told you, module compliance will tell you what are the different modules, how they work in MIB. So every module will have the name and will have mandatory part and compliance part. So the name of the module cannot be empty. So you have to give some name, and then identifier for the module is nothing but the object identifier. And we have the, so first a module will have the name and then mandatory part. So in mandatory part we have two groups. One is mandatory group and just is a normal group. So whatever is specified in the mandatory group, that should be implemented, and then whatever is in the group, that is an optional one. So every group will have a object identifier. So next, compliance. So compliance can be what we saw earlier, right? We saw that object group, object type, all those things. And then next is about the object. So every object will have the value, syntax part, write syntax part, access part and description. So every object, we have to specify the name of the object. Then the syntax part, it will follow the ASN syntax. Then write syntax, whether it is given write accessible. The next is access part. In access part we provide minimum access or it can be any other kind of access. So if it is any other kind of access, what are the different access we have? It can be not accessible, accessible for notify, read only, read write, read create. So these are the things. So this is what is your module compliance macro. So we'll go back to the presentation. So this is given in your book Mani Subramanian, page number 355, and this is your figure name. So next is agent. So we have seen for module, for object group, for notification group, right? So next is the agent. So what kind of the agent means the different components that we have in the system. So agent capabilities will tell you what are the things that a vendor will provide. So a vendor is a person who manufactures these kind of objects that we have in SNMP. So all the components that we use in SNMP, we call them as managed objects. So these managed objects are nothing but agents in our manager agent communication. So this agent capabilities macro will tell what the vendor will be capable of doing it. So this is your agent capabilities macro, begin and end. So it has got type and value. So in this type agent capabilities, we have product license. So this is specific to the vendor, and then the status, and then description, and then refer part, and your module part. So which kind of modules will this agent be capable to implement? So will it be capable to implement, for example, object type module, object identifier module, or any other kind of module. So what kind of modules these agent, that is the system component, okay, that it will be capable of. So this should be given by the vendor. So it is agent capability is specific to the vendor. So agent capability macro will define all the things that are required, that will be given by the vendor. So next is value. So value is nothing but what this agent capability macro identifier is. So next status, as usual, we know that. Then the reference part, it can be optional. And in the module part, we will have to specify the name of the module. So what are the different modules that this will support, and what are the different groups it will include. So these are the different components that we need to specify in the agent capabilities module. So it will have type notation and it will have value notation. In type, we have product release date, and then the status of that component, description, refer part, and module part. So in module part, we need to specify what are the different modules that this agent is capable of implementing it. So which module it is supporting and which groups it includes. So all those things are specific to the vendor. And this is an example. So this router ISI 123. So router is manufactured by a vendor, right? It can be a Cisco or it can be any other kind of vendor. So here this is a macro. Sorry, this yes, this is a macro which is specific to a particular router. So this agent capability macro is what this particular thing is going to implement. So the product release. So this was released by Infotech router, ISI router 123. Release version is 1.0. So status, it is current. So description, so it is an Infotech high speed router, and then it supports. So what are the different things it supports? Okay, so we need to include the different modules that this agent capability module will implement. So this particular router includes the system group, and it includes SNMP group, it includes SNMP set group, SNMP basic notification group. So what is the different kind of variations that we have? It is a cold start. So this is a trap. Okay, so this is a trap that we saw in the previous class, right? Cold start is a trap. So a cold start trap is generated on all reboots. So whenever you have a restarting, then this cold start, that is when a cold start notification comes in, you cannot change the components, you cannot change the description, or you cannot change the different um, what to say, that's for specifications of that particular device. So the specification of the device cannot be changed. So that is what is your cold start trap. And it also includes, okay, it includes different modules. So what are different modules? It includes the if MIB module. So in that if MIB module, we have if general group, if packet group. So these are different modules that we have in SNMP. So next it supports IPMIB group, IPMIB module. So in IPMIB module, we have IP group and ICMP group. So next it includes TCP MIB module. So in that we have TCP group. Next it supports UDP. Then it supports EGP. So these are the different kinds of module that this particular router is capable of working with. Clear? So this router, the vendor will have to specify which kind of modules it can work with, and it belongs to which and it can implement which kind of or say groups. So we will have to be this agent capability macro will have to be given by the vendor. So whenever they purchase, whenever they produce or manufacture the different components that are required for your SNMP, so they will have to specify all these things. So the product release status description and what are the different groups and the different modules that it can accommodate. So that's what is given here. Name of the module and what are the different modules and different groups it can accommodate. To include the module name, you will have to use the keyword support. To include the different objects, you will have to use the, sorry, different groups, you will have to use the keyword includes. So whenever you use the group, it will have the keyword includes, and whenever you're specifying the name of the module, you will have the keyword supports. Support keyword is used to specify the name of the module, and includes is used to specify the group that this module is belonging to. Clear? So this is about the compliance statements that we have in SNMP version 2. So next is SNMP version 2 MIB. So MIB in SNMP version 1, this is what we saw, right? For internet MIB, internet object. So we had this directory, management, experimental, private. So only these four things we had, the first four things, first four components. And in version 2, as I told you earlier, security and SNMP version 2 modules were added on. So in earlier, the internet MIB module contained in directory, management, experimental and private module. This security and SNMP version 2 module were added in the SNMP version 2. So this SNMP version 2 module is further divided into SNMP domain, SNMP proxies and SNMP modules. Then what is the SN so security? As I told you, it the version 1 was not capable of providing the security features. So that was implemented in version 2 and it was further enhanced in version 3. So version 2 we had little security issues that was addressed in version 3. So in version 3 only we had a fulfillment of the security thing in SNMP. So in version 2 module, it is further subdivided into three modules, right? SNMP domains, SNMP proxy, and SNMP modules. So what is this SNMP domain? So SNMP domain will tell you what are the different uh, communication techniques that we use. So as you know, this SNMP works with UDP, right? So it transfers data in a transmission protocol, which is your UDP. So next, that is what is given in SNMP domain. And second one is SNMP proxy. In SNMP proxy, what is the use of SNMP proxy is, as I told you, SNMP works with UDP. Suppose if it had to work with, that is if the component does not work with UDP, then you will have to do the changes such that it works with the UDP protocol. So how to do that? It is done automatically in SNMP by using the SNMP proxy. So this SNMP proxy will convert your component which is not capable of working with UDP into a thing which is like it is like a compiler. Okay, it is what the use of compiler, it converts your high level language into a machine language, right? So likewise, this SNMP proxy will convert the things that we have in non UDP supported protocol into a UDP supported protocol. And the third one is SNMP modules. So the different SNMP modules that we have. So your MIB contains all the modules that are present in SNMP. Okay, so the MIB only specifies the different modules that you have. So all the modules are put in the SNMP module group. So next, this is further division of your internet group. So as I told you, these are the four things that we already have. And then security and SNMP version 2 is added, which is further divided. So next, I told you, right, the SNMP module is the thing where your MIB resides. So all the modules that we have in SNMP are into the MIB. So in this is your MIB version 2. So that also we saw, right? MIB 2 is a superset of MIB 1. So only here we have that system. We had this 11 groups, if you could remember, system, IP, SNMP, and then and then I think it is we have like 11 groups, right? So that I was teaching you in the previous classes. So all these 11 groups that MIB2 gives is under the management. The next is MIB. SNMP MIB is further divided into MIB objects and MIB conformance. This MIB conformance is what we saw earlier, right? So when we named this conformance, we used this keyword conformance. I just show you. I think I didn't include that slide. Okay, then maybe in the next class I'll show you that. Okay, so this conformance, whatever we have, that comes under the SNMP MIB conformance, and these are the different MIB objects. So this is about your internet group, and then the next one is the same changes that we have. So as I told you, we have 11 groups that are added in MIB2, right? So in MIB2, we have 11 groups. In that, these were already available. So 1 to 8, 1 to 9, all these things were already available. And the ninth one, system or table, is a new entry. Okay, so this table is used to provide your aggregated table. So aggregated table, which we saw earlier, right? We like a tabular representation, we represent the objects. To do that, we have this sys or table. So that is it for today. So today we saw what is the different conformance we have, conformance statements, and what are the things that is included in MIB of SNMP version 2. So we have two modules that are included in version 2 MIB, which is nothing but security and SNMP version 2. So in SNMP version 2, we have three things: domain, proxy, and modules. For to explain that, only we saw what is conformance statement. So if you have any doubt, so I'll show you what are topics we have covered today. So we today we have covered only the MIB of version 2. So tomorrow we will be covering SNMP version 2 protocol and its compatibility with version 1. So with this your SNMP version 2 would get completed, and by next week, that is by Monday, we will complete fourth unit. Version 3 we are supposed to look into. So tomorrow we will try to complete the version 2. So that's all for version 2. So next in version 3 we have the architecture, and then again MIB security, remote monitoring, MIB and SMI for version 3. See, for version 1 also you have SMI and MIB, and for version 2 also you have SMI and MIB. So don't get confused. For version 3 also we have. So you will have advanced, that is, you will have something added on. That's it. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, if there are no doubts, thank you, students. You can go for break.